Well, with the Bolton car completely destroyed and unable to run anymore, because I went too aggressive on the pulling it back down, I probably could fix it. I could probably hammer all those seams back together and re-weld them. Not interested. But I did get a little bit more life in the back of the car because I did kind of pull the frame back down and out. But again, kind of ripped the frame apart. So careful, you guys. If you're going to pull stuff back, sometimes you rip it apart. But saying that, we need to fix this car. So this one just ran beaten last weekend, and we need to get it fixed for the next derby. Where is the next derby? As of right now, I do not know, but I know it needs some rear trailing arms because those went bad pretty quick, and I know it needs a front spindle. And next time I'm going to put 2 ratchet straps on the battery because the battery came off and arced out on the floor. So we got to fix that. So let's get this thing into the garage. So we got this thing in the shop. What a fight to get it in the shop. Look at the drag marks. I gotta head out to work, but guess what? Tomorrow morning, we're gonna be working on this. What do we gotta do? Fix it. We gotta fix it. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. So we gotta fix this. This is no good. And we gotta fix that, because that's no good. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow, and we're gonna be fixing this pile of junk. Right on my toes. That was kind of dumb. So, we just ran this car last weekend beaten, and we had a couple issues. Mainly, the spindle broke, so that's issue 1. Issue 2 is the battery came off the floor, so we have to fix the battery, which is just more ratchet straps, because this is a stock car. And then once we fix the battery, then we have to fix the spindle and then the axle, because I did get a little overzealous and revved the snot out of the axle, so it's in 1,000 pieces. And then we got to fix the rear trailing arms again. So this car here, what's going to kill it is the back of this car, because the back of it is just trailing arms after trailing arms after trailing arms. So that sucks, but I don't know. What we got to do is take this all apart, take this, and put that on there. So what we're going to do is pull the caliper off, zip tie up the caliper, so that way we don't have to re-bleed our brakes. Even though they're not the best brakes, this car still does have brakes. And then fix the front of this, and then we're going to go show some love to the back of it. So have you guys ever had this happen to you? This is a little off topic, but it's bothering me inside my head. I'm trying to get these lug nuts off this F-150 here, and you guys know how they put the chrome, and then the chrome decides not to be part of the lug nut when you try to take it off. So I spent all this money on one of those reverse spinning tools that you hammer on the lug nuts, and it's got a nice little punch and everything. It wasn't a cheap kit. It wasn't super expensive, but it wasn't cheap. And then I bought it, and it came in, and then I carried it back to my garage, and that was 2 weeks ago, and I have never seen it again in my life. Brand new kit, and I don't think somebody stole it. I think I put it down and completely forgot where it is. And I can't blame anybody for this except myself. We're going to have to find that. Yes, we are. Yes, we are going to have to find that. I'm just not sure where I put it. But anyway, that's that tangent over. Let's get back to taking this thing over. So what we need is 17 mil. 22 mil wrench, and that's honestly about it. We might do the axle, which is 1 3/16 inches, so we can go get all the tools and be right back. Have any of you guys ever had this problem with these 12 volts? The battery stays in there, but the gun just doesn't hold together. Like the whole gun is splitting in half. I don't know. I think it'd be better if they had a bolt together right there, you know what I mean? Bad design. But But unfortunately, it ain't powerful enough to do what we need it to do. Been kind of getting in a fight with the Milwaukee dealer here in, not my town, but the next town over. Been having problems with a lot of their tools, but they're telling me that's normal wear and tear. Well, I'm sorry, if your gun turns off while I'm pulling the trigger because the battery vibrates so much, that's not normal wear and tear. That is a poor design that you guys should fix. I mean, I am a Milwaukee guy through and through. So now with this broken spindle in here, so let me show you guys something that I should be doing a little bit more often. You see how this is like a new break all the way around here? See that bad spot right there? That means that this spindle was already previously broken, which doesn't really make sense to me. Because this spindle got broken in Aaron last year, so then I put a new spindle onto it. Well, it wasn't new, it was previously enjoyed, so that's probably where the crack came from. And then I ran Schaumburg and took some tire shots, but never broke the spindle. And then in Beaton, I did break the spindle. So that means that this thing has been broken for a bit. Now you can see the fresh metal break and the old metal break right there. So that means that water and frost and rust have got in there and put pressure. So that's garbage. But what we need to do is really start inspecting these spindles. Because they don't really exactly make good new stock. The new stock is new stock, but it's new parts quality. So you don't really need new parts quality. You need OEM quality with new parts quantity. So there we go. We're just going to give this thing a good overall look at, because I do not want to break any more spindles on this car. I've got the car running good. It's just, if I break a spindle every run, it doesn't matter how good a car that you have, because it's always going to be not first with a broken spindle. There's some guys here in Ontario that could probably wheel a broken spindle car to a feature win. One of them being a gentleman named Jesse Schultz. Well, these are not the right nuts for there. He's a great driver. He broke his spindle last year, and then he drove for like maybe 4 minutes on a broken spindle, which like quadruples any of my records of driving around on broken spindles, because I think I'm only like maybe a minute and a half. But there's some guys out there that can do some pretty awesome things with some pretty damaged cars. Have you guys, I remember one time from Blizzard Bash, a guy's frame split in half. Like, that's a random break with no way that you can really predict it doing that. And I think he actually got timed out because he was bellied out, but my God, he drove around with that frame broken in half for a bit. Like, quite a while, actually. Okay, I need to find where I put all these nuts because I seem to have lost them. Well, we got the whole front end back together. I didn't really film it very much because I got super upset with axles. So this here, I believe, is like a 2001 car with a 97 motor and like a 93 transmission. To be honest, I have no idea of what combination of anything that I have in here. So most of the spare axles I have are big bushing. This is a small bushing passenger side axle. So then I had to take apart one broken axle that was broken at the knuckle and one broken axle that was broken at the transmission and take a piece from each and combine them into one half-ass broken axle. So that's what I got in there right now, is one half-ass broken axle. But it's in there. It's fixed. The only thing we got to do is tighten up these 22 mils. So right, that's the top of my the spindle being tightened. I think I got tie rod done up, lower ball joints done up, brakes are done up. I think we're good to go. Now, a lot of you guys are going to notice that these these tires are all mismatched. I have a 14-inch Mazda B2200 on this side, and then on the other side I got a Ford Ranger 15-inch. And the reason for that is because every single one of my double sets have a flat tire. So I have a flat tire on the Mazdas, I have a flat tire on the Rangers, and I have a flat tire on my Rallies. So every single one of my double sets has one flat tire. So my plan is to mismatch my tires, so then I will have two tires dead of each one. Doesn't make sense, but in my head it makes sense. So now we need to turn our attention to the back of this car. We just fixed this last week, so you guys have already seen me do it, so let's go take a look at it again. So the back of this car, this one here is okay, it's just bent. It's not broken, so we can probably straighten that one out pretty easy. Now let's go take a look at this side. This side here is actually broken. Still bent though. Here's what I'm thinking. We're going to try to bend these straight, and then we're going to try to put a piece of angle on top of them, because I'm sick and tired of fixing these things, that's for sure. So we heated these things up with the torch, and then put this trusty little tool underneath there, and then came down on the hoist, and we got these arms. Well, we'll say this one's kind of straight. We're not going to say that one's straight at all. Like, what the hell janky crap is that? So now we can weld a little piece of angle iron to them, I think, and then we can go from there. Look at this one. Look at that one. Oh my goodness, these control arms, every single one of them is bent up pretty bad. Let's get a little bit more welding done to the back of this, and then we can go from there. So we couldn't find any angle iron, but I found this nice piece of galvanized metal. So we just kind of filled this hole, tacked that one, filled. That way they can't say that the control arms are fully welded. This side didn't really turn out so great, but it's on there. Look at those amazing welds. Guys, it's the end of the Derby season. I've kind of lost interest in this. Not gonna lie. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but I don't know. Just getting tired. Now, the last thing I do want to address is the hole in the front bumper. So if I do not fill this hole is going to get much, much bigger, and it's just going to rip this whole bumper apart. The bumper is bending quite aggressively, but it is holding the frame rails good on this one. So this is what we need to fix. We need to fix this hole, so then that way it doesn't rip the bumper in half. So we just fix up the chrome here. We're going to be able to get this thing back in the ring and doing good. Now, we can't use anything too thick and too aggressive. All my repair plates, I think, are too thick. So we're just going to find a thinner piece of metal to weld over top of that hole. With the back end done, and now this crappy little chrome cover holding up so it doesn't rip apart, the next thing we got to do is try to fix some of my tires. So I have this Ranger rim that needs a tube. I got that Rally that needs a tube. I got this rim that I just put a tube into and then came back and it was flat again. So we got to take this one back apart and put another tube in it. And we got to figure out what tires we want to run on the back.
because I'm not really liking these 12s. They're good at some shows, but I find when you pop them, you're just way too low to the ground. So we're going to be going through and seeing what tires we can fit on here. And we're going to be going through the rules to see if I can just run rims without tires at all. Because metal on metal here slides better than rubber on metal. And you can see that the tire's been hitting there. So we'll be back tomorrow because I got to go to work. And then we'll continue this video tomorrow.